welcome guys to our week 7 battle versus Jersey. Let's get this thing posted in the Discord for y'all. Alright, so now that's posted. So let's take a look at his team. So he brings Lopunny, Jirachi, Tangrowth, Darmanitan, Swampert, and Hoopa. Pretty much all of what I was expecting. Rookie mistake, he wished me good luck. That means we're going to get good luck this match. No, it doesn't. We're not going to get good luck. He doesn't bring the Slurpuff, which means Scizor, we don't have to keep it safe anymore. We were right that, sorry, I'm talking like I made a team builder, but I did not. So let me go over my team real quick. So I brought Choice Band, Scizor, physically defensive Altaria, a fast, especially offensive Rotom, with the HP Grass specifically for the Swampert, of course. Nidoqueen, a Choice Scarf Kyurem, and a especially defensive Vaporeon, pretty standard set. How dare you, Lazoff. So looking at this team, I want to lead off with Altaria because I want to be able to get my my Mega Evolution off as soon as possible. Because that's a problem I've done in the past when I brought defensive Altaria, is that I don't get my Mega Evolution off soon enough, and then it lacks a lot of the bulk that it gets upon evolving, as well as the really important typing. So he leads off with Swampert here. So let's pull up our Altaria and Swampert. Let us assume defensive. It's probably going to be specially defensive specifically for the Rotom, but if it's physically defensive, Hyper Voice is not doing a lot. And unfortunately we don't have Heal Bell on anything this time around, but I'm just going to get the Mega Evolution off. If he Toxics me, that will be unfortunate. He does go for the Toxic, and we see we did 29%. That is an offensive Swampert? Oh, I'm calcing it with Natural Cure, not Pixelate. Gotta make sure we get that in there. So, okay, now that we have the actual thingamajig in there, let us do some calcs. So, now that we're seeing this, that does seem to be a specially defensive Swampert. Although not a positive Spadef nature. Although it could have been, it just could have been an absolute max roll. But he does get the Toxic on us, which is unfortunate. So now that we know he's especially defensive, what is Rotom? Do to him? So I need him at roughly 50% HP. So I can go for another Hyper Voice, I think. As he goes into Jirachi. I could have hard switch into Rotom there, but Rotom is a pretty safe switch into Jirachi anyways. We do not see leftovers here. So getting the Toxic on Altaria is really unfortunate. It means it is it does its job of taking on the Lopunny is hampered quite a bit. However, we still are in a range that that we could take at least one hit and fire back with Hyper Voice, and we just need a little bit of chip on the Lopunny to get it in range for Scarf Kyurem to come in and knock it out. We of course do have the Scizor with Technician Bullet Punch, which does get into that range, and Nidoqueen, which can take any hit from Lopunny and also get into range as well. I'm pretty sure everything except Kyurem can take any one hit from Lopunny, and then also get it into range for Kyurem to Scarf Kyurem to kill it. So, looking at his team, Rotom is, because I do have the Sucker Punch on it, it is a minus Bidef nature. So, alright here. So, if Hoopa is Specs, Choice Specs, I'm pretty sure Choice Specs Okos. It does at least 92%, and yeah, so if it is Specs, it has a really good chance to Oko, and I cannot lose my Rotom right now because it does a really good job of hitting everything on its team. So let's go into Vaporeon, I believe. Let us do some calcs for Specs. Size Shock does 70 to 83%. So, versus Rotom. What does Sucker Punch do again? Sucker Punch does not kill. So let's go into Vaporeon. He does go for the Shadow Ball and to get the Spidef drop. I could just go for it. Actually, let's do that calc before we do anything. Shadow Ball Specs, that is, Shadow Ball does 28%. Specs does at least 35, so we know he's not Specs, which is fantastic. And we didn't see a Life Orb. So he might be Scarfed, he might be Expert Belt, he might be Leftovers. Let's just go for a Protect. If we see him stay in and go for something other than Shadow Ball, we know, of course, he's not Choice Locked. If he is Scarfed, he's probably going to switch out right now. I'd like to set up a Wish, but nothing necessarily needs a Wish. There's the Tangrowth. I can go into Nidoqueen here as he goes for the knockoff, and I am going to, he does not have any defoggers, so I'm just going to set up Toxic Spikes. He doesn't want to stay in, I'm guessing. If he does stay in, then we can just go for a Sludge Wave right afterwards. And those Toxic Spikes are going to be really important throughout this match. Because, like I said, he does not have any hazard removal. So it's going to be chipping down Swampert once he switches out and back in. Darmanitan is going to be taking extra chip damage if it goes for stuff like Flare Blitz. It's going to be important to get the Lopunny down into KO range for Kyurem. Basically, it's really great against everything. Against the Jirachi, because one set of Toxic Spikes does get Hoopa within potential KO range from Sucker Punch. So here, we know he's not offensive, so I almost just want to go into Kyurem. What does Kyurem do to Swampert? Defensive. We are going to assume it is a positive max Bidef, and we just got a super high roll on that Hyper Voice. He is not level 100. So Ice Beam does to a KO, and he can't do anything back to us. So I'm just going to go into Kyurem. He sets up the Stealth Rocks. And I'm just going to go for Ice Beam. If he goes into Jirachi, then we start getting important chip damage on it. We did not see the Leftovers, so it might be Wish. But I'm willing to bet, since we don't see the Leftovers, that is probably maybe Scarf Rachi, is my guess. Actually, let us do U-turn damage. So it did 11% to Rotom. While we're waiting for him to make his move. Choice Scarf versus Rotom. So U-turn from Scarf Draw actually does a minimum of 12%. So, and if he's not physically invested. So if he's defensive with 0 attack investment, U-turn could have been a max damage on the U-turn. So we at least know he is not offensive. Okay, interesting. The way he went into Hoopa here really makes me think he's Scarfed. And also the fact that he switched out of Vaporeon when he did have the Spidef drop. So he's probably going to go for Focus Blast? What is Focus Blast from Scarf Hoopa? Not Specs, because we know he's not Specs. Choice Scarf due to Scizor. Focus Blast does 51 to 61%, but I think it's worth it. Okay. So, we lost Scizor, which is really unfortunate. However, I didn't see it doing a lot against this team. Because obviously Darmanitan outspeeds, resists the Bullet Punch, although Bullet Punch would have still done a lot. Did a lot to Tangrowth, but it couldn't really do anything to the Jirachi or the Swampert, which always come in on it. However, we do see Hoopa is at 33%. What do I want to do here? So we know he's Z, so obviously he's not Scarf. So I could go into Rotom and go for the Sucker Punch. I could just go into the Kyurem and go for Ice Beam. Those are really my only two options. I know Rotom outspeeds. What does Rotom do to Hoopa? With T-Bolts, not Sucker Punch. I don't have T-Bolt, that's right. I have Volt Switch. Volt Switch has a chance to kill. And if he goes into Swampert, then he'll take the HP Grass damage plus Toxic. And that would be one of Nidoqueen's checks out of the way. I'm just going to go for the Sucker Punch because I think he's just going to let his Hoopa go down. It kind of did its job. Yeah, I don't want to go for the Overheat. If he stays in, he's definitely going to go for the offensive move. Yeah, so I'm just going to go for the Sucker Punch. I don't mind revealing that I have the Sucker Punch. It was really there for the Hoopa. And now we get a little bit of leftovers recovery. If he goes in Lopunny, I'm just staying in and going for Overheat because, like I said, I just need the chip damage on it. Shoot, 1 second, guys. I am going to walk across my room real quick. I need my chapstick. Woo! There we go. I got it. Don't you worry. I have my chapstick. And my headphones fell off my face. Sorry about that, guys. But I half promise you, because I'm not going to actually promise you, that no more technical difficulties throughout the rest of this match. He is taking his time, thinking about what he wants to do. He goes into Tangrowth, which is interesting. Why would he go into Tangrowth? That makes 0 sense to me. I am offensive, so what do we do to an AV Tangrowth? We don't kill, and he probably has like Rock Slide or Knock Off or something. However, we can go into Nidoqueen. Huh. Why do you go into Tangrowth? You guarantee outspeed unless he's Scarf Tangrowth, which is hella weird. And Rotom is still has uses. He's not going to go for EQ. He's going to expect me to go for Overheat, so he's not going to go for EQ. So I'm going to Volt Switch. Okay, he goes on to Swampert. I just go for HP Grass here. I need this thing low to set up the Kyurem sweep. Without Swampert, yeah. He goes for a Toxic. I'm just gonna go for another HP Grass. I don't understand that play really. If he was I think he was going into Tangrowth to bait the Overheat, so that HP Grass would not do a KO the Swampert after the special attack drop. I think that's what he was thinking. But yeah, him going into that made me think that he had something for the Rotom, so there was no way I was going to stay in. So we get rid of the Swampert, which means we can go for a potential DeFi to get rid of these rocks. But I don't know. At the moment, I don't think we need to get rid of the rocks. Because Kyurem is Scarfed. Its speed ties with the Darmanitan. Actually, hold on. Let's do some calcs. Kyurem versus Scarfed Darmanitan. Can we live a Scarfed Darmanitan after rocks? No, we cannot. So, if we think Darmanitan's Scarfed, we need to get rid of rocks. And if he goes into anything except Jirachi, if he goes into either Lopunny or Darmanitan, okay. So at this point, I don't think we need Toxic Spikes anymore. And I also don't think we need Rotom anymore. Do we need Rotom? It's still really nice for the Jirachi. But, okay. So we know Jirachi is not offensive. Or at best, it's like semi-offensive. But I'm going to assume that he's not offensive and he just got a really lucky high roll. So as long as he doesn't get the Iron Head flinch, or the Zen Headbutt flinch, Nidoqueen can live one hit. Nidoqueen can live 2 Iron Heads, so chances are we break through the flinch. Or Zen Headbutt, in which case we have a 60% to break through, and then we can kill it with Earth Power. So we have options for Jirachi, and of course, Kyurem has the Earth Power as well. And a Vaporeon if he is Scarf. So I think I just want to Sucker Punch. Get a little bit of chip. And he goes for the U-turn, which is fantastic. So, if he goes in Jirachi, then we just stay in and Overheat. If he goes into Lopunny, we stay in and take the Fake Out. And Volt Switch in case he tries to set up a Substitute. Because I think, I think he has Substitute on his Lopunny. Yeah, okay. So we're just going to Volt Switch. Let's make sure Volt Switch breaks his sub. Actually, do we care if he sets up a Substitute? Because Lopunny or Altaria has Hyper Voice, which goes through sub. wow. How overheat like almost kills. Yeah, we're staying in and just going for overheats. We're probably just gonna go to fake out plus poison. But yeah, actually overheat has a chance. Actually, no. After if Rotom lives for some reason this turn, like if he, no, there's no way because either he's gonna kill us, or set up substitute. So, Lopunny is at 88%. Lopunny is at 88%. What does that mean for Kyurem? Draco has roughly a 50% chance. It has exactly a 50% chance to kill. Not worth it. So I think we just go into Altaria. And everything that can be poisoned on his team is poisoned. So I'm just going to go for a Defog. Because even if he stays in to try to kill the Altaria, it is then in range for Kyurem. And now we go into Vaporeon. I can hear any music. Can you guys? I'm just going to turn it up just a tad. Sorry. What the heck? Why is there no music? Sorry if your ears are bleeding now. Okay, I can faintly hear it, which probably means it's probably too loud for you guys. So, if he goes into Manatan, we just go for the Protect. I'm assuming that thing is Scarfed. Jirachi might have Healing Wish. If it does, that is really unfortunate. But I think Kyurem is still in a really good position to sweep. I have enough stuff to switch into and sack for Kyurem to be able to switch up its Scarfed moves. So let's Protect. We're just going to get some nice Leftovers recovery while he... Okay. We're just going to get even more Leftovers recovery. I think you predicted me to go into Kyurem. I cannot go into Kyurem on the Tangrowth because I really need my Scarf to stick. So I'm just going to Wish here. He shows Toxic on Darmanitan. So that implies... I don't know. Jersey might be running Scarf Toxic Darmanitan. So now we're just going to Baton Pass. He's probably going to go for the U-turn, or he might try to... Yeah, okay. So now we go into the Nidoqueen and go for Sludge Wave. If he goes into the Jirachi, we just go for the Earth Power. Because we know, especially now that we're back up to full, that we can live anything. And down goes the Tangrowth, which is the main threat for Vaporeon, so that's gone. And I'm pretty sure Nidoqueen can live any one hit. So... Nidoqueen versus Darmanitan. If he's Choice Banded, that's good news for us. If he's not, which I don't think he is, Choice Scarf, we live everything but a crit. So we're just going to go for Earth Power. Boom. Darmanitan's out of the way. Kyurem sweeps at this point. Whoo! I love you, Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is such a good mon. So underrated, especially in League format. It is just so bulky and hits back so hard. It is the epitome of bulky offense. We just stay in and sack the Nidoqueen. I can never remember if fighting resists poison or not, but we're gonna go down anyways. And now Lopunny is at 76%. So Lopunny all-out attacker versus Kyurem. Unfortunately, we don't know. Lopunny is probably adamant just because it doesn't need to run Jolly. It outspeeds my entire team. So Lopunny is not in range for Ice Beam to kill. It is in range of Draco, but I'm not going to take that risk. So, and against Altaria, I don't think Altaria is in range to get killed. Let's pixelate it up. Yeah, return does a maximum of 40%, and Jirachi is at 85%. So let's just go for the Hyper Voice. We just need a little bit of chip on the Lopunny. Actually, do I want to Roost? Because if he goes into... Actually, no, I have to Fire Blast. Because if he goes into... No, because I'm not going to kill with Fire Blast anyways. So what I'm thinking is, if he has Healing Wish on Jirachi... Okay, no. So I Hyper Voice. If he goes into Jirachi, I Roost. So that even if he Healing Wishes and goes back into Lopunny, I should be at a range that I don't get killed. Alright, so now we Roost. Okay. If he has Healing Wish, he goes for it now. If he has Healing Wish, he goes for it now. He has to. Is Jirachi in with... Actually, hold on. Before we lock anything in. Is Jirachi within range of Kyurem? No, it is not. But we can go into Vaporeon and get some chip damage. So he shows the Iron Heads. We get a flinch, which is unfortunate. But we just go into Vaporeon. Let's just go for Fire Blast. Okay. This is getting to be a pretty close game. So, seeing he went for the Iron Head, of course the right play was to go into Vaporeon, but I could not risk him going for Healing Wish, because if you went for Healing Wish, and I didn't get... If I didn't do enough with Vaporeon to get Lopunny within range, I lost. So now we just go into Vaporeon and go for Scald. Because he, unless he gets insane hacks, he cannot flinch stall me to death. So now Kyurem is in range. And he can't set up a substitute because then he'll just die. So we do see the Drain Punch. So, how much does Drain Punch do to Vaporeon? Drain Punch. Vaporeon. So Drain Punch does 86%, which is good to know. To Kyurem, I mean. And does a good chunk to Vaporeon. So I go for Protect here. He goes for the Drain Punch. I go for Scald. He's going to get a decent chunk with Drain Punch back. And now I just go for Protect. And now Lopunny is not within range of... is within range of even Earth Power. So that is GG for us, because if it is Scarf Rachi, which I think it is, he can't lock himself into a move that sweeps. If it's Z Celebrate Jirachi, which it isn't because he already used the Z move. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we win at this point. Because Ironhead, I don't think can flinch it to death, because with Leftovers and Protect, we heal more than Ironhead afflicts over 2 turns. So yeah, Zen Headbutt, no Skull Burn, but we can go for Protect. And if he Scarfed, Zen Headbutt does not 2 KO us, so as long as we break through. He does get the unfortunate flinch. So, moment of truth, he is not Scarf. That's... That was a really close match. So we do win 1-0, which means we are officially in second place because I was tied with Jersey. As of this week, we had the exact same win-loss ratio and the exact same differential. But of course, us beating him this week puts us ahead. So after this, we are on track for getting playoffs. However, it is by no means guaranteed. It's going to be a tough last 3 weeks. Every match is going to count because this division is really tight. But really good job, Jersey. Yeah, you brought mostly what I expected, but still, Jirachi and stuff like Swampert and Darmanitan just hurt so bad. And they're really difficult to prep for. But Scarf Kyurem coming in at the end, really clutch. Oh, he says we had it in the last few turns. I think so, but it kind of depended on hacks. So yeah, oh, so he just admitted that. Okay, so he just admitted that Jirachi was bulky Scarfed for the Dragonance Altaria, so he's probably running just enough speed to outspeed the Altaria, but he didn't expect Scarf Kyurem, and that's why Kyurem was able to outspeed in the end there. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next week for a rematch against Lindy. Bye, guys.